so I'll have to see what's the date. Melissa said she thought somebody stepped on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a, so hopefully they can just put new in down.
Slack, you might stay in there. It's got a little pressure on it. Just don't breathe on it.
Just don't breathe on it. Get some tape.
Duct tape and still.
Yeah. The fix all.
Are you ready, Vicki? It is 9 a.m. I will call this meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners to order. We will be abiding by the Open Meetings Act as amended, a copy of which is at the entrance to this room. At 9:15 or shortly thereafter, we will also be meeting as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization, again abiding by the Open Meetings Act. To open our meeting, Commissioner Hoover, would you lead us in prayer?
Yes, please join me. To you, O Lord, with gratitude for our many blessings, we ask that you provide guidance and support that leads us to sound judgments that bring growth and unity to our county. We lift up all those who serve us, asking that you bless them with grace and protections. As we witness the turmoil of evil in our world, we pray for peace and goodwill across our land. In this holiest of seasons, we are thankful for the birth of our Savior. We ask that our work honor his sacrifice. In your name we say these prayers. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Next item is to approve the minutes regarding Lincoln County Board of Commissioners meeting held on December 11, 2023.
Chair, I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners held December 11, 2023.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Next item is to consider the following. First would be the claims and treasurer's receipts.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the claims and treasurer's receipts as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
ED in lieu of, is that? Is that what that was last year?
It's on the last page, Becky,
The redemption thing?
the end court.
Yeah, there was some, did we have some type of agreement with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, they may pay in lieu of. You don't have to, they,
I just didn't remember that we got that kind of money out of them last year.
it's a long story, but the bottom line is yes right now.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out that
It's similar. Is it similar?
I'd also like to make note of the interest on investments. Our county treasurer, Alex Gerchulo, did a presentation at our NACO meetings last week on that topic, and maybe we can get her to give us a feedback report on how that went. But she's doing an excellent job with getting the county some return on our investments.
Are there any other comments, discussion regarding claims and the treasurer's receipts?
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Next item is to authorize the chairman to sign the Blue Cross Blue Shield amendment of application for group contact.
This is just due to the changes in my office, so I had to change the primary contact for billings and different things.
This puts Nicole Fisher as the payroll clerk, is that correct?
Correct.
Make a motion, we authorize the chairman to sign the Blue Cross Blue Shield amendment of the application for group contract.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
We were waiting for Becky to make it, but I guess she didn't, so I'll make it.
Roll call, please.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Okay. Next item is to authorize the chairman to sign a right-of-way application submitted by Dawson Public Power District. And this is for a, good morning, welcome.
Morning.
This is for a, get to the page that shows the map. This overhead structures? or-
Underground.
Underground?
Yep.
Jason, have you viewed this proposal?
Yep. No objections from the road department.
Jason Schultz states no objections from the road department.
Aaron, by looking at your comments, thank you for putting those in there. I really appreciate that.
That's our staking engineer. He's looking after you guys.
Good deal. I like the remarks. But it looks like multiple utilities are gonna be using the same trench.
That's my understanding, is that there's gonna be at least 3 others that would like to utilize the same spot.
This is for the new subdivision out
Yes.
on West State Farm Road.
Yes. And I did have one question, that's why I'm here. I know there had been some talk about some work being done along State Farm, like future planning for wider road and whatnot. Is that something that we need to plan for now?
I'm not aware of any. Jason, would you care to comment on that for us?
If the answer is yes, then the answer is yes, right?
Jason Schultz, Lincoln County Highway Superintendent. I think the only work that we're gonna be planning on doing is elevating that road, so the ditch lines will not be going anywhere.
Okay.
So, pretty much all the utilities that'll be going in there are gonna be at a proper depth according to where existing ground is, so anything we do in there is just gonna be elevating the road, so we're just gonna have more cover over it, so.
Aaron, were you by any chance talking about part of the study? Thank you, that makes it a little
Yes, yeah,
clearer
yeah.
what we were talking
Oh,
about,
you
because
were
that would
talking
make,
about that.
because that would be
Big stuff,
totally
yeah.
different than
Yeah.
where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's more long-term, but I don't wanna move my stuff, so.
Nope, I understand.
It is a good idea to look ahead and be proactive instead of reactive, so I understand your question.
So your interest is in regards to the south
Yes.
property line or county road fence line south
Yes.
of State Farm Road, west
Yes.
State Farm.
If there was ever gonna be any additional right-of-way taken there, that we wanna be out of the way now, rather than having to have you guys pay me to move later.
How would that change, how would it make what you're doing different
We just
Moving
move,
that.
just move stuff farther south.
farther?
I don't,
Because there's a house right on that property line to the north, so there's no moving it north.
right. And to the east, there's a house, and there's also an NPPD substation or step down or something that's right to the east there, so it's gonna be kinda crowded in that area regardless, but if it's something that we can move 5 or 10 feet or something like that now, we would rather do it the first time.
So why wouldn't you just do
Yeah,
that if
'Cause
you're
I'd have
able?
to- I'd have to ask for additional easement through that stretch to not be in the easement that's on the plat currently, which should be easy, but if it's not something that's going to be required, then I'm not going to, because I don't want to encumber the lot with any more additional easement than I have to.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, we're talking just past the gravel,
Yeah, this is on the
or
ground.
just on the gravel?
Yep.
And so we're going to the south, and I should have read better, but those are pedestals that go down through there?
Yeah, we're putting all underground down through that subdivision. So there'll be a three-phase junction box right at the driveway or the road going into there, and then we're gonna go straight north across the road to catch the existing overhead power line. Right now, the power line crosses at an angle in that stretch. And something that we have been proactive about doing is getting rid of overhead crossings across the roads. We're trying to put in as much underground as what we can for clearance issues for, you know, big equipment move, house moves, anything like that.
So where would you be tying on, you have a line that goes up and down State Farm?
Yes, yeah, we currently have a overhead line on the, I guess, be west of there is on the south side of the road, and from where we're gonna cross the road going east, it's on the north side of the road.
So just talking out loud, if you have an overhead line right there, could you not go straight down, put a J box and go out and put your first pedestal on private property as
We are
the
on
rest-
private property. I don't put stuff on county right away. I'm talking for the future, if the county takes more right away, then I would be
Oh.
on right away.
Okay. Right, let's say, all right.
I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to, I try to plan ahead, because I don't want to be, I don't put stuff on state
I
or
was
county
gonna
right
say, other
away
than
unless
the
necessary.
first small J box, then the whatever pedestals, obviously, you adjust however you need to, but.
Right, and that's, so it's because of the dirt work that was done through that ditch to meet grading and stuff like that, we're actually asking for additional right of way through that whole subdivision.
Thank you.
So it wouldn't be a huge deal, but that's something that we want to know, but do we need to stay 5 feet off the property line, or is the county going to ask for 7 feet of additional right of way where they've been doing that in some areas, or?
Jason, what would be your suggestion?
Well, at this time, I don't think we know enough to make any decision as far as that goes. I think we just need to stick with what we have existing right now.
Okay, and my question I have for you, Jason, you mentioned elevating the road. Would that be borrow out of that ditch?
No.
It
No.
would not be, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I do have the application and a check in front of me. Colleagues,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion authorizing you to sign a right-of-way application submitted in Public Power District for West State Farm Road.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wheeler. Aye. Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Okay.
Becky, what the devil is this county base fee and county device fee?
IT pays this one. It's the state of Nebraska. Yes, I'm keeping on CIO.
I just don't get what a county base fee and a county device fee is.
The way the charge is now hooked up to the state AS 400.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's not much. But the way everything else has improved over the last 20 years, you can call it an AS 1200 or something like that.
Need it for outage programming. This will be a version, we won't need it anymore.
It is 9:15. We will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization, again abiding by the Open Meetings Act as amended. First item on this agenda is approve the minutes regarding Lincoln County Board of Equalization meeting held on December 11, 2023.
Chairman, I would move to approve those minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting we held on 12/11 of '23.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Next item is certificates of correction and refund as submitted by the county assessor. County Assessor Julie Stinger indicates none. Thank you. Next item is motor vehicle tax exemption application as submitted by the county treasurer. And singular seems to be the word.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
Alex Couture, Lincoln County Treasurer.
Looks like we have one in front of us. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the application for exemption by the West Central District Health Department. Be for 4 items: a 2009 car trailer, a 2008 H&H cargo trailer, a 2021 F-150, and a 2021 Explorer, all used for educational purposes and recommended for approval by our Lincoln County Treasurer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley. Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Okay, is there any other business to come before the Lincoln County Board of Equalization? Hearing none, so at 9:17, we will adjourn as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization and reconvene as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners.
Did Barry talk to you about,
Hey, Davis. I noticed that we do like this restaurant, but apparently somebody ran over or stepped on the floor.
Okay, it is 9:20. Our next agenda item is a quarterly report by Tom Gann, Lincoln County Veteran Service Officer. Tom, would you come forward, please? Morning, both of you. Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Please state your names and sign in for us, please.
Yes, sir. Tom Gann, Veteran Service Officer, Lincoln County.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
So would you give us a report of what's been going on in your office, sir?
You guys asked for a report in December, so here we are. Those are the numbers, those are the data, that's the data, and that's only until what you see there is until the Friday. So what was the date on Friday? I should have put that on there.
December 15th.
Thank you. So, yeah, so it's October, November, and December up to the 15th of December, because I didn't want to wait until, wait to the end, because Christmas, New Year's, everyone's busy, but I wanted to give you a report as you requested. So we have office visits, as you see, 298, phone calls, 552, emails, the 59, faxes of 48, and the digitized files. That's the files that we're working on getting uploaded from the file cabinets, does that make sense? Into the system. Melissa's doing all that. And then we got Nebraska Veterans Aid, 25,636, what is that?
85.
85, I don't have my glasses, sorry. Thank you. Now, we still have 4 more Nebraska Veterans Aids to complete that we are currently working on. So that number will easily surpass $30,000+ for.
That is for the total of 2023.
That is for the total of 2023. All the
Not
numbers you
just the
see are,
quarter.
yes, sir.
And Tom, can you clarify, these are funds that you and Melissa in your office assist county veterans in obtaining from the state?
Yes, that is
Department of
correct.
Veterans.
Absolutely correct,
Many
yes.
of them are funerals, like veterans who didn't have any money when they passed away.
A very important service.
Yeah, one of them's a homeless veteran, for sure.
Yeah.
On that note, I have a question about our county veteran aid fund. Has any money been expended out of that?
No, not this quarter. So what we do, good question. Not this quarter, we did not have any. We came close, but we did not have any. I did have to turn down 2 veterans for county aid, but I was able to get them aid, whether it be through another source, SSVF, or another source in town, or another veterans organization that's willing to help too. So,
Without going into specifics of their need, because I know that that's confidential, or the individual, is that due to their wartime?
yes, it is.
that
It is,
handcuff that we
it is
have?
due to the wartime service. Yes, they served in the early 80s. Both veterans served in the early 80s, and we were unable to help them with that. So as the commissioners know, that is still, it's in a positive role right now. So Michaela, thank you so much for what you've done. My gosh. Sometimes things are somebody's idea and somebody takes the football and runs and takes all the hits and beats, and that's you, Michaela. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
I
Tom.
can't thank you enough, talking to John and at NACO and stuff like that, and I can't thank every veteran in this state, especially in the future when this passes, and I have a strong belief it's gonna pass. They actually told me, this is their exact wording, it's the cutest girl at prom. That was NACO's words about this bill, so I'm
And-
pleased.
And clarify that.
The bill is, what we're trying to do is if I might give it the right term, bill? I don't even know if that's,
Yes.
you know.
It'll be a legislative bill in January.
So what we're trying to do is, what Chris was bringing up is there's veterans, a small number of veterans. So basically late 70s, all of 80s and early 90s is a non-wartime period for the United States. So because of state statute, county aid cannot assist those veterans in any way. We can't assist them with keeping their lights on or, you know, that type of stuff. We can't help them. But with this legislation fixing the past, we'll be able to, which will be great. And it's not a large sum of money that we help people in these offices. It's like I said, it's $300 to keep their lights on, you know, that type of thing. So it's a simple thing that I'm looking forward to. So again, I thank you, Michaela, for all the work you've done.
You're welcome. For me, Tom, you spoke to this. It was your idea. You, after only 2 months on the job, I believe, you recognized a deficiency in serving the county veterans because of a couple words in state statute that was written 80 years ago. And instead of just finding a workaround, you chose to bring it to your board's attention, and I sit in on those meetings frequently. And alls I did was take the work you had
Took the
done.
football, you took off running.
And
So thank you.
And so I'm your loudest champion and cheerleader. This is
We
gonna
appreciate it
be,
very much. I'm excited, very excited for it.
yeah. It was a labor of respect and love for me, so I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. And on the second page there, Commissioners, there's kind of a very detailed report on forms that we do. So just to kind of show you kind of, you know, what goes on in the office. You know, these are actual forms, VA forms that we produce every day. The only thing about these numbers, like on the front sheet, is these are numbers that we can physically track. So this is an actual veteran that we spoke with. We get lots of calls that we can't track, whether it be the funeral homes, those type of things. Family members may have a question, or a veteran that's moving here may call and have a question, or those type of things. Working with the state, sometimes those are numbers that we can't track. So these numbers, you can easily add, 10, 15%.
And calls to that they think they're talking to the clinic.
You know, so you can probably add favorably at 10 to 15% to all these numbers here.
Okay.
And as you can see at the bottom, there's the total communication for 2023.
Okay.
On that note, Tom, in our last budget conversation, you had asked for adding a part-time employee.
Yes.
That's gonna happen in January?
Well, it's gonna happen as soon as we can. Thank you again, Commissioners, for allowing me to do that. I have to write up a job description. I have not had a chance to do that. I'm hoping to have that done in the next couple of weeks. It'll be short. And then I actually have had a couple of people interested already. So good, I think it would be good candidates. But yes, did I answer your question?
Yes, it does. I knew that you had something in the works. I just didn't know the time frame.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions?
Anybody got any questions?
Any other questions from the board?
I know that there's potential for the VA, at this point it's potential, nothing's solidified, but would you talk about the potential that we have for somebody to be located here to assist, whether it be on a part-time basis from the VA? You and I had a conversation about this just this last week down at the NACO conference.
A VA,
VA representative to come in and assist the veterans in our area.
oh, you're talking medically, right?
Medically.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that is, I haven't looked into that first thing, but I will. I will look at that and then I'll let you know if that is concrete.
Right, I know it's not concrete, but there's.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's concrete. There's potential that VA may come into town, lack of a better word, to help veterans with conditions on a monthly basis, and they may even have a building, so that's possible. But I have to validate that to be sure before we make that public.
Okay, sounds great.
Well, hopefully I'm not jumping the gun.
No, I'm glad you reminded me, so thank you.
Good. Hope you have success with that.
Well, thank you. Has anybody got any questions, or?
Any other questions from the board for Tom or Melissa?
I don't have any, just doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Couldn't do without Melissa here. Melissa is golden, and I appreciate you, Melissa.
Thank you.
I would like to add, Tom, just in my short time here, I have noticed a lot more traffic. We actually have some parking challenges over there, and I think you guys have done a great job in scheduling your appointments to meet that challenge. But I've had a lot of positive feedback in the community from veterans who appreciate how accessible you are and your open door policy there, and willing to help not just the veteran, but their families too. So thank you for what you're doing. No group more deserving.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your work, and thank you for the report.
All right,
Thank
Commissioners, thank you.
Our next agenda item is a public hearing on application by Fast Stop 1155 Inc., doing business as Fast Stop 1155 for a Class D liquor license located at 381 North Highway 25, Sutherland, Nebraska. So I think, Tyler, if this is correct by you, we will open the public hearing. Is that correct?
Please do.
And that would be in regard to a Class D liquor license. So at 9:31, we will open that public hearing for comments in regards to this liquor license.
Mr. Chairman, I had, didn't give you much notice, but before the meeting, I went and spoke with Tyler about, it's my understanding that when we do this, and this is a temporary operation that they're trying to get a permit on, and when we do that, we should have a Form 125, and what that is, it's a form signed both by the existing owner that has the license and the person that's buying it, that states those things, you know. There's different things on that are required, and I think it's on page 5, but that is required as a Form 125, and I did not see that in the submittal package, so if the person making the submittal is here, I'd like to ask them about that.
Is there anybody here from Fast Stop 1155 Inc.?
And without having that as part of a complete package, I wouldn't feel comfortable acting on it. That's just me, and I'd ask you to maybe defer to Tyler, but that's...
Sir?
Well, I certainly think that the application needs to be complete if you're going to make an intelligent recommendation to the Liquor Control Commission. I think that precludes the board from concluding the public hearing, since it's already published and you're having it. But in the determination, you will have to come back on another day and do that.
Okay. And I see this requires an application fee as well.
Yes.
See that not in here.
Melissa's on her way. She was the one that had contacted the applicant, so.
Okay. I see a name for an applicant, but I'm not sure that I can pronounce that or read the writing. Can you read that name?
Say Saud Sharon.
have any information in regards to this applicant?
No.
They were contacted.
Okay. In regards to the comment that was made by both Commissioner Hughley and Tyler Volkmer in regards to the application not being complete, including the Form 125,
Okay.
we would probably have you contact them if you would.
Yep.
Do you want one of these, Becky? It has the verbiage right there.
We have the copy.
You got it.
Yeah, we have the whole thing, but I'm surprised the state would have sent the application out. Usually they do not do that without all the
No.
proper paperwork included. Because we get those from the Liquor Control Commission, they send the whole packet to us. But normally they do not send it until they have everything complete in the application. So I guess we'll have to ask with this Form 125, I don't know.
Okay. So the public hearing is still open. We not hearing any comments. Can we close the public hearing?
If the public wants to speak, yes, you probably also postpone the public hearing until next week, if you'd like to.
We have to republish, I'm sure, probably. I don't know, we'd have to find out if we have to republish,
It's already open. We're already having it.
so.
To close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion to close and a second for the public hearing. Any further comment? Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Wheeler,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. And we'll wait to see if you do need to publish again, we'll let you schedule
We'll
this.
have another public.
We've had our public hearing, so I don't think we'll need
So
to.
the only thing the
So do you
board would
wanna-
do.
Is consider this application.
Yeah, so you can probably come back next week and do the consideration, if in fact the form is just omitted by the Liquor Control Commission.
Okay.
I would hate to see the board send a recommendation of a denial simply because they didn't send the paperwork.
Yeah, because they're pretty good about making sure everything's there before they send the application
Okay.
out.
We'll wait for further information possibly next week. Okay. That was clear as mud.
Picture.
It is 9:40. Our next agenda item is a public hearing to discuss and consider action on an amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map, amending certain land from agricultural protection to residential acreage. The properties are located on South Maxwell Road, East Marcia Ave, South Eugene Ave, and East Roseanne Road, north of Maxwell, Nebraska, lying in Section 10, Township 13 North, Range 28 West on the 6 PM, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Good morning, Judy.
How's it going this morning?
Well, good, I think.
Good morning, Judy.
Please,
Judy Clark, Lincoln County Planning Administrator.
okay, can you tell us what we've got in front of us?
Yes, I can do that. So what you have actually are 3 items, but we're going to talk about the first item. They all involve the same property. This first item is an amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map. In order to rezone the property, it's the duty of the Planning Commission and the county commissioners to make sure that the land use map is in conformance with the proposed rezoning. On this one, we do have a single applicant to rezone one parcel. It is located in what I refer to as that area north of town that's Geyerville, north of Maxwell. And all of those properties around there are currently indicated on the land use map as agricultural protection, which really doesn't make a lot of sense because all of those properties in this area are small lot, single-family residential. And so since this one gentleman was requesting to rezone a single lot, I felt that it was pertinent to change the land use, the comprehensive land use map for that entire area. So this encompasses more. It went to Planning Commission. I do have a copy of the signed resolution from Planning Commission. It was approved. I know you guys all got a copy before it was signed simply because of timing, but here is a copy if you want to see that. And to me, or planning staff recommends amending the land use for small parcel development because currently the entire area is used as residential development. And it makes sense that entire land use designation be residential acreage versus agricultural protection.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
I have one, Judy.
Yes.
And if I could read maps better, I probably understand, but looking at this map right here,
Yes.
so is it just the subdivision itself that we're changing that on? And, I guess that's my question. For example, if somebody wants to go 400 feet outside of that subdivision and make Geyerville 2, okay? They'd have to go through this same process again because that's not being rezoned out there.
Correct. And this is an amendment to the land use map. So there's a difference between the comprehensive land use map and a rezoning, but they have to be in
Oh,
conformance.
I understand,
They
but
have
you
to
can't do one without the other.
You cannot do one without the other. And the reason I'm encompassing this whole area
Oh, I
is
think you
because it
should.
makes complete sense to
I
do it
agree.
that way. But yes, if somebody wanted to go to the east or the north or the south and do another Geyerville, yes, they would have to come back here
Okay.
and do the same process.
My hope is, and obviously, we're going through our comprehensive plan, kind of refresh or rewrite with it, that areas like this with all of our villages would be getting a look to make sure that we have some transitional ag and some residential zoning.
Yes,
where it's
definitely.
appropriate. So
We missed a few when we went through the 2012 comp plan, so I'm hoping to catch all of those and get those cleaned up through this process.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense because all of our villages in Lincoln County, hopefully, will be experiencing some growth when it comes to residential areas, so.
Judy, I have a question. You talk about Geyerville north of Maxwell, and you show this as South Maxwell Road. Is that correct?
Well, that is because when you look at the sign, it says South Maxwell Road. I am not sure. You may want to ask the road superintendent why it's South Maxwell Road when it goes north, but
That was back during Brian's time.
Where's the north-south divide?
Yes,
Jason
exactly.
Schultz, Lincoln County Highway Superintendent. So, yeah, there's actually been a lot of confusion about addressing and such on this road. The road's name is North Maxwell Road. The addressing, there's actually South North Maxwell Road and North Maxwell Road. The dividing line is actually on a map, if you look at it, it is about 3.5 miles north of Maxwell.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Try-
that's why we get a lot of confusion on the addressing and,
Well, I can
and
see why.
such, so. There is a split line that is just north of, actually, the location you guys are talking about right here, so.
I see.
So these areas would be
So actually, you
south
could
North
have north,
Maxwell
south, north Maxwell, actually, couldn't you, that gap?
Road.
Try giving directions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
does that affect our legality in any of these proceedings?
I guess you'd have to ask,
If the road's called something, that's what it's called, huh?
That's what it's called.
Okay,
and
sounds
it does
good.
have a legal description too on there, which is section township
Okay.
range, so,
Thank you, Jason, for clearing that up.
sorry.
Okay. Okay, should open the public hearing, correct?
Should.
Okay, at 9:46, we will open the public hearing to discuss and consider, well, we'll open to receive public comments in regards to the amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map, certain land from agricultural protection to residential acreage. And this is the property that Planning Administrator Judy Clark just mentioned. So at 9:46, we will open that public hearing. Accept public comments about this amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map. A lot of takers of public hearings this morning, aren't I?
Mr. Chairman, if you could do me a favor and receive the recommendation from Planning Commission. Like technically, we're supposed to receive it into the record.
Okay, I would receive from the City Planning Commission and the City and County Planning Administrator the recommendation in regards to this property.
I doubt there's anybody watching that doesn't understand that we're taking that into consideration, but apparently words matter to my job.
Okay?
Significantly.
Okay, anybody wish to speak at this public hearing? Second time. Third time, anybody wish to speak at the public hearing in regards to the amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map? Hearing none, at 9:47, we will close the public hearing. Now we take action on that, correct? Okay, so this would be, we discuss and consider action in regards to this amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map pertaining to the land that Judy Clark has referred to on South Maxwell Road, which is north of Maxwell, changing it from agricultural protection to residential acreage.
And I do believe I gave you a couple of sample motions, one to approve, one to deny. I do believe Tyler did a resolution, is that correct, or not on this? Okay, you just did a resolution, okay. So never mind, the motions are good.
So for this portion, we have a resolution drawn up. We do not.
No.
On the rezoning, there's a
Oh.
The
resolution,
next
sorry.
issue, I will discuss the resolution.
Got it.
Okay, colleagues? It's your pleasure.
So we just needed a motion to adapt, or to amend the map, correct?
Yes, I do have a couple of sample motions on the bottom of that, of the review comments. If you would like to use those, you're more than welcome, or you can change them however you wish.
Don't change them. The stuff that she has in there are the magic words that the board needs to say.
Got it.
To approve, the bottom one is to deny.
And that's on the rezone from A1 to
Nope,
R1?
that's on the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve an amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map, amending certain land from agricultural protection to residential acreage located on South Maxwell Road, East Marcia Avenue, South Eugene Avenue, and East Roxanne Road, north of Maxwell, Nebraska, lying in Section 10, Township 13 North, Range 28 west of the 6th prime meridian, Lincoln County, Nebraska.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Hughley, Wheeler,
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is a public hearing to discuss and consider action on an application by Danny, Shirley, and Jamie Carlisle to rezone certain land from an A1 agricultural district to an R1 rural estates district on property located at 20095 East Marcia Avenue and described as Lot 1, Carlisle replat, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Do you have anything to add in that regard?
Again, you should have all received a copy of the review comments, and this is to rezone. And once the amendment is approved, again, the amendment has to be, the comprehensive plan has to be in conformance with a proposed rezoning. And this is to just rezone Carlisle's property, just their piece of property, so just one parcel.
Okay.
Planning staff has no objections to the rezoning if the amendment to the future land use plan has been approved, which it just has been. And the surrounding area is generally used as small lot residential development, and this request for rezoning should not be a detriment to the immediate area. Again, Planning Commission did hear this at their last meeting, and here's a copy of their resolution recommending approval.
Which after you open the public hearing, please accept that.
After the opening.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else to add?
Not unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Judy?
The only question I have is what's the resolution number for the rezoning?
34.
Okay, at 9:52, we'll open the public hearing to hear comments in regards to, excuse me, an application by Danny, Shirley, and Jamie Carlisle to rezone certain land from an A1 agricultural district to an R1 rural estates district on property located at 20095 East Marcia Ave, anew and described as Lot 1, Carlisle replat, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Public hearing is open. Accept public comments. I'm running a trifecta, all right.
State for the record that you accepted her.
Oh, yeah, and I should state for the record that we did accept the recommendation from the County Planning Commission and from Judy Clark, the planning administrator.
Close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion to close the public, and a second to close the public hearing. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Wheeler,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Okay, so now we have a resolution, do we?
Now you have a resolution. State statute requires that when you rezone something, it's a resolution laying out what has changed because you're actually amending the zoning code, and attached is a map showing what is being rezoned. And so that's something that Becky has to keep in her office. And there's another document that the board does not consider that she has to sign saying she has spread that through the minutes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt Resolution 2023-34, which approves the rezoning application by Danny Shirley and Jamie Carlisle to rezone certain land from an A1 agricultural district to an R1 rural estates district on property located at 20095 East Marcia Avenue and described as Lot 1, Carlisle replat, Lincoln County, Nebraska.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Wheeler,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Great. Resolution passed. Coming around. Okay, now that that is taken care of, our third sub-item on this item is to discuss and consider action on an application by Danny, Shirley, and Jamie Carlisle for Carlisle's second replat on property located at 20095 East Marcia Avenue and described as Lot 1 Carlisle replat, Lincoln County, Nebraska.
Okay, and again, you should have all received a copy of the review comments, a copy of the preliminary and the final plat. There was one adjustment made, and I do apologize, since I was gone last week, you did not see that. On the final plat, there was an easement that was extended over into another lot to the east. And so Planning Commission requested that that easement be erased from the plat, and I can send that around for you, so that's the only change that was made. Again, Lincoln County Planning Commission did make a motion to approve that with the minor change that was made. And planning staff has no objection to the subdivision since the amendment and the rezoning have been approved. With the amendment and the rezoning approved, the subdivision will be in conformance with the Lincoln County Comprehensive Plan and the zoning regulations.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, I would be happy to.
Any questions for Judy?
You say you did add you added an easement?
Got rid of an
Got rid of
easement. Joe has the one copy I have, that on that lot that's to the east, there's an easement showing on the south side. That easement does not exist on that lot, so we've taken that off of that.
They're not landlocked.
They're not landlocked, no, it's just an easement for electrical.
I see.
Utilities aren't involved.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, nobody needs it.
No. Sorry, Aaron.
Hey, we have to take our toys and go home.
So I will bring over a plat for you to sign next week that has that change on there and signed by everybody.
Okay. Colleagues.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve an amendment to the Lincoln County, Nebraska land use map.
No.
No?
We're on
Where
the
are we
third
at?
item. Third item.
Oh, third item.
Subdivision. It's the easiest
Too
one.
many papers.
It's a lot for one property, isn't it?
It is a lot for one property. You guys did a lot of work. Read off of yours then, because I can't find mine. It might be missing.
Back here somewhere.
I think that's the right one.
I think that's the one I was reading. Here, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that,
Very bottom.
Okay.
oh, it is the easiest one.
It's the easiest one.
Mr. Chairman, we'll make this easy. I move to approve Carlisle's second replat.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Thanks, Judy.
Roll call, please.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley. Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye. Thank you, Judy. Okay, got that taken care of. Finally. Okay, next item on our agenda is to discuss and consider cost of the relocation of Nebraska Public Power District transmission line within the Sutherland North Bridge project limits.
Hi, Jason Schultz, Lincoln County Highway Superintendent again.
Okay, great. We talked about this last week, and you have some further information for us?
Yeah, and I guess if Tyler wants to give his opinion, I guess, but mine was that we would, it was an unforeseen that I guess is our responsibility to pay for, in my mind, so.
So I went and took a look at it, so I understood what I was looking at. I called the individual at MPPD and spoke to him. I asked for the internal regulations so that I could actually read them. He wasn't exactly sure where those were. At the end of the day, legally speaking, we're not the customer in this scenario. So I don't know that we're necessarily gonna be liable for this. That said, they wouldn't be raising the power lines if not for our road. So while I believe the property owner is the customer in question, I don't know that I would pick this ditch to die in over $5,300, especially not within PPD.
Also, Tyler, last week when we had this conversation, you spoke to what a good partner this landowner has been to the county in making this project move forward. And I
Yes.
think that's a big part of this consideration also.
Also, yes.
Okay.
With that said, Mr. Chairman,
Just a minute, for
no.
any other questions for Tyler or Jason before we proceed?
I have none.
Go ahead, sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the cost of the relocation of the Nebraska Public Power District transmission line within the Sutherland North Bridge project limits in the amount of $5,375.25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right.
Scratch out where it says customer signature. Just put signature. That's me.
I don't think it really matters at this point.
Okay, I guess you're right.
Tyler, thank you for looking into that. Jason, thank you for okay, good to have that cleared up. Okay, next item on our agenda is to receive bids for Lincoln County Department of Roads 2023 asphalt overlay projects. We have some bids to take in, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll open these. I won't open them up, but at least I'll get them prepared to open.
Oh, thank you.
Like we've got several here.
It's not wanting to come out of there. Is it just this one, Joe, or is there something in here?
This is the bid, this is just the bid bond.
Just the bid bond? Okay. Do you wanna?
I mean, that's what it should be.
Okay. There we go. I didn't see it down there.
Joe, did you look at the bid bond?
I'm assuming that's what that is, and I haven't looked at anything, but.
Okay,
typically
this
it would be-
first bid I have in front of me is from Western Engineering. Bid bond is in place. I'll put that back in there so we don't. That's it. Okay. This again, like I mentioned, this is for project number LCDOR 2023-2 from Western Engineering Company, Inc. The bid price per square yard of milling is $1.85 per square yard. Price bid per road ton of asphalt is $86.50. So if we go back, there are 130,204 square yards of milling, so that works out to $240,877.40. On the asphalt, the total tons is 15,138 tons at $86.50. That came out to $1,309,437 for a total milling and asphalt of $1,550,314.40. Start date of 5/20/24, completion of 6/15/2024. Do I have that?
Mr. Chairman, can you repeat the total?
Yeah, let me make sure I didn't leave something out of here. Total came to $1,550,314.40.
Thank you.
1550314.40.
Thank you.
Okay, the second bid I have here is from Shellco Construction. This would be the bid bond we have in place. I believe that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks correct to me.
Okay, this is for the same project, Shellco Construction. Bid price per square yard of milling would be $1.22 per square yard. Asphalt would be at $119.24 per ton. So if we do the math on that, 130,204 square yards comes to $158,848.88 for the milling. The 15,138 tons of asphalt at 119.24 comes to $1,805,855.12 for a total of $1,936,904. 63, excuse me. Let me repeat that. $1,963,904. 1,963,904.00. Okay. The next bid I have is from Warner Construction, Inc. We have the bid bond here. Okay. Something else in here. Okay, this is from Warner Construction. As I said earlier, the bid price per square yard of milling is $1.55 per square yard. The bid price on the road ton asphalt is $115 per ton. So if we extrapolate that, the milling, 133,204 square yards at $1.55 comes to $201,816.20. The bid price for the asphalt of 15,138 tons at $115 per ton works out to $1,740,870 for a total milling and asphalt of $1,942,686.20. So that total again is $1,942,686.20.
And Chairman, just for clarification, you stated this total square yards of milling at 133, it's actually 130?
Yeah, 130,000.
Just so we get it right in the minutes.
And I didn't check on the previous one time frame. Into
Let me
that,
take a look.
would you look into that for me?
Sure.
I failed to do that.
Jason, what did we have projected for this project?
Any more bids?
That is it.
Our total budget we have for asphalt overlays is 2.2 million.
Did we, Jason, we're looking to see if there's a timeline. Did you ask for a timeline?
Yes, we did state a completion date of June 15th.
June 15th?
Yeah.
I do not see that on,
I don't see any enumeration on the,
Unless it's an exception, and if it was in the bid documents, it should be
whatever the requirement was.
I don't see anything other than what was,
And let me look at this.
that one was stated.
This one.
They did have a date on theirs.
Having said that, Tom or Jason, was there any kind of liquidated damage?
The standard specifications that the county uses.
Okay, thank you.
You wanna take a look at these?
Yeah.
Dan?
Morning, Tom. Thank you for your help.
So we're doing the milling, what's the inch thick overlay that we're looking at? 2 inches.
Yeah, it'd be a 2-inch mill and then a 2-inch.
Sort of late for me asking now, but this is going out north from it. And is that road in good shape? The reason I ask, if we're doing a 2-inch mill and a 2-inch overlay, and is that going to get us where we want to be?
It needs it.
I mean, should it be a 2 and a 3? I don't know.
No, we went out and quartered.
Oh, that's my question. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
It's got a real good sand base underneath.
Good. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Garfield table is fantastic, drove that just recently, and that milling added into our process makes a difference.
Makes a much better product, much better product.
Okay, Jason, Brian, did we have any specifications of the milling product that is produced? Is that
Yeah, it's in
part of
the,
the county's or the company that wins the bid?
the way the specs are written, the contractor can keep whatever material they're gonna add back into their mix for the project, and then the remaining portion of the millings will become the property of the county.
Okay, and that percent that is allowed back in the new mix is what again?
It's 15%, roughly.
15?
But it can be higher than that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on their mix,
Probably more like that.
yeah, that they end up submitting, so.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to take a little time to look over those bids?
I think we would actually like to, because I would like to just acknowledge the receipt of the bids and postpone to next week to consider the acceptance of one of them.
Okay.
Give us time to review and consult with Tom as well.
Quick question. I'm not trying to be a hard guy, and I certainly don't have any problem with that, but is that not something, Tom, we could do, looking at the difference in the bids just now? Is there a reason we can't?
Well, we want to make sure all the documents are signed.
Oh, okay.
On Tyler.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Answers my question. Appreciate it.
Tyler, does that make sense to you?
It does.
Okay.
On the agenda, it says receive the bids and consider acceptance, so do we have to make any motions today?
No, we can table.
We can just table it till next week.
Okay, I would mention that we did receive the bids, and I would extend appreciation to all of the bidders for their interest in our project. We appreciate your involvement, and we will table this until Jason and Brian and Tom can come back to us the day after Christmas. Is that right?
That is correct. That's our next.
We will not be here on Monday, the 25th, but we will be here the 26th. Okay.
I'll be here then.
Question that I have, and I appreciate all the bids that came in. I think that they look like good bids, just face value. The remaining section of North Maxwell Road going to Grable, that's gonna be paved toward the end of construction of the golf course. Do we have a projected date on when that's gonna start?
I do not.
I know they're wanting to be open for golf in fall of next year, so.
Yeah, I have not communicated with them here in the past couple months as far as what their schedule is up there, so I've not heard anything as far as their time frame of when they're planning on doing that.
Well, all these bids allow us a little extra wiggle room for our asphalt overlay to pay for that 50/50 cost share of that last section. So I'm appreciative of the bids that did come in.
Yes, very, very much so. It's great to see that kind of interest, and we will anxiously wait for your review of those bids and give us a recommendation next meeting, which will be Tuesday, December 26th.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Michael, we have a member in the audience that had asked to make a comment at this point in time, and I would certainly grant you 2 or 3 minutes to make your comment, sir. Please state your name and sign in for us.
Yes, my name is Michael Cook. I live at 1906 West Eugene, North Platte. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to the commission today. First off, let me say I don't object to the idea of improving North Maxwell Road or South Maxwell Road, whichever.
Sounds like both of them.
Probably a mix.
We're sort of a combo here. But I do have some questions. The first one was, I have attended, well, including last year's and this year's, 10 previous 1 and 6 road planning meetings. And unless I missed something somewhere along the line, I did not see North Maxwell Road addressed as a #1 priority in any of those meetings, including the 2023 meeting. That being the case, I fall back on the fact that at the 2022 meeting, one of the commissioners asked for a study on Eugene Avenue and a traffic count and a cost estimate to upgrade it to meet standards as required by the State Highway Department, state roads plans. And I waited through 2022 till the 2023 meeting to hear what the traffic count was on Eugene, whether or not it was appropriate to fix that road based on all the comments that have been made about the hazards to it. And that being the case, at the 2023 meeting, the same commissioner commented that they were rescinding their request for that information since that project was not on the 2022 or 2023 one-year plan. And that being the case, my question here is, the North Maxwell Road, has a traffic count been made on that road? Has, showing a drastic increase in traffic on it? Has that road deteriorated to the point where it absolutely has to be fixed? What are the parameters for improving that road? What exactly has taken place there? And does this mean that this road is going to require some drainage work? Is it going to require some ditch work? Are we looking at culvert extensions? There's just numerous different things that to me come into my mind as to this overlay project out there. And I know Tom is very competent in his assessment that a 2-inch overlay after the 2-inch milling is sufficient for that road. I'm assuming that means that some core samples were made checking the subgrade of that road at various locations to make sure that it will support what I perceive must be new traffic on that road based on the needs of the people of the county. These are just questions that I have, and I'm sure that other people in the county would probably have if they were aware of the fact that this road was being improved with or without. What's the traffic load, I guess, is what I'm asking here, and does it really necessitate this improvement to this road? There are numerous other roads, Eugene included, that have fallen by the wayside because of the fact that perceptions were made that these roads were not needed in the demands that truthfully they are. So that being the case, I do question whether or not it's appropriate for the county commissioners to accept bids for improving a road that I'm not sure the public is aware of the fact that a lot of this has to do with the fact that there's going to be an extension of the paving to a private golf course, which is also a play and stay course, which I doubt more than 5 people in this county can afford to stay at or play at because of the membership costs. That being the case, I just would like some more information presented at the next, when you do finally accept these bids, as to truthfully, I guess the last thing was, I read an article in the paper the other day where Mr. Schultz indicated that he had no idea what this cost was going to be. So I had to assume that no previous studies or assessments by the county had been made as to the need to improve this road. With that, I'll close, and I thank you all for your time.
We thank you for your comments, and we will review this information at our next 1 and 6 year planning meeting. Thank you for your comments.
May I address part of Michael's remarks? Well, I would just like to clarify, I went back and looked at, in a previous meeting this year, you made mention of my asking for a study of some kind done on Eugene. I did not request, I know, and I think all of us know that that's not something a commissioner probably would do. I did ask if there had been one done. When you came in and presented during our 1 and 6 road plan, my first year on the board, I had asked the interim superintendent, had a study ever been done on your road? I didn't ask for one to be done, and I just would like to clarify that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comments, sir.
I just, if I may, Eugene Avenue is of concern for the county
Yes.
and the city. It was brought up. I don't know that it'll receive a whole lot of attention in when our comprehensive plan, which includes a component of Safe Streets for All, comes before us with the final documents. But I specifically have asked the people that are doing the Safe Streets for All to take a look at that, particularly as we're opening up new corridors for housing. That may be a road that does need to be improved. We don't know, but there is serious look at it, Michael. So your concerns aren't falling on deaf ears.
Okay. Thank you for bringing your comments to us, sir.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, our next agenda item is an update and report by the Lincoln County Predator Control Department. They might be out in the
I think
hallway.
they're sitting in the hall. Maybe.
Michael can say he got it off his chest.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you're up.
Gentlemen, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Please have a seat. Make sure that mic is turned on there, Barry. State your names for us.
Barry Johnson.
Jerry Feist.
Good morning.
Good morning. Commissioners, have you had the opportunity to read the narrative?
No.
No, we just
You
got it.
have not, okay,
We
okay.
just got it this morning. It looks like we've got quite a little bit of report here.
3 pages worth, I don't know. Let's look at the spreadsheet first. Barry and I worked that up yesterday. I forgot to put a count feature on the bottom left hand of that. There's 26 cooperators that we have helped since the inception of our program here. We've got 3 coyotes, 2 beavers, and then the remainder is prairie dogs. We're getting a lot more requests for prairie dog work than the other species. I expect the coyotes is gonna pick up substantially with, we got young animals dispersing. Oftentimes, they gotta go into new home ranges, they don't know where they're at, they don't know where the food is, they don't know where the shelter is, they get beat up by the residents that are there. It's rough for a young coyote to make it, and unfortunately, with spring calving not too far away, that often becomes, they get in trouble, they get bold and they get in trouble. I expect that to pick up substantially.
Okay.
But that's where we're at now, gentlemen. I know money is always an issue, and looking here, I haven't had a chance to review Tammy's budget yet, but looking at what we have recovered or billable in terms of money, total cost so far, the second column there, we have sent bills out for $12,706, and of that, prairie dog, 11,372 is prairie dogs.
Wow.
And I separated prairie dogs because that's there's a lot more interest in that in this county now than others. And if anything's gonna carry us through, it's probably gonna be the prairie dog work.
And actually, if you look on what I prepared, the accounts receivable, the updated amount on that for the invoices sent is different than what Barry has, or what Jerry has, because Barry brought some in
Yeah, we had
that I
that this morning.
invoiced out.
I think it was 15 and.
15,349,
15,349, is that where we're at?
Yep.
Is that all of it, Tammy?
yes.
Okay.
Before we go much further, I think it'd be very important for us to note that the county board assistant, Tammy White, has been very instrumental in helping this department get off the ground and going.
Oh, God, yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Tammy.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. Jerry, in fact, in the report, I have brought attention to the Lincoln County Commissioners, y'all. The roads and weed department have been awesome. And also the sheriff's department did develop a course for us and run us through and checked our proficiency, our safety, and.
You both passed?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Just
So,
don't good job.
but I actually have acknowledged on the first page, Commissioners, Roads and Weeds, and Sheriff's Department. And with the commissioners, Tammy, I guess you're a leg of that, so I didn't single you out specifically, but yes, you're instrumental in making all this work.
And Barry, can you clarify just for the public, when did you guys actively start working the prairie dog and all the predators? So this revenue has only been since July 1st? Is that correct?
Oh, we didn't,
We didn't start until almost October.
yeah, I just jumped on
I had a
the,
lot of stuff I was doing to get this ready, but we never really got to until.
I just wanted the public to know, this has just been a couple months.
yes, yes.
So I've got 11 more contracts to fill yet, that we haven't had filled.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good point, because none of this started early. I just jumped on the beginning of the fiscal year. But, yeah, the dates we certainly have the dates, I just don't have it right in front of me.
Okay, super.
But guys, we have in that narrative on the second page, the first paragraph on top, you don't need to look at it now, but I talked a little bit about, we got a late start because we had so much precipitation and it stayed green into late summer. And it's not effective to poison while it's green, but now we're blessed with this nice weather. Normally, we're shut down long ago due to cold weather, snow, or a combination thereof. So even though we got a late start, we're going much longer. So it's just a weird season.
So
And-
let me interject here if I might. You are actively pre-baiting and baiting now yet?
Yes, I got two deals this last weekend that I worked this weekend, and I'll finish up. They have the baiting today, and I'll start poisoning Wednesday.
How has your success rate been?
Been pretty good on most towns. We've got a couple problem towns. Don't know why. We had problems with them. We had one guy down south here that he wasn't happy with what happened. Said he had too many dogs out there. We went back and had to re-hit it again, and we did hit the hot holes that now that
it's kinda got colder, they're more stationary and staying close to their holes, so you can kinda identify them. And, we went and killed them, and he's happy now.
Super, super.
Jerry, to your, on page 2, I talk about that very thing here in the little second paragraph. It talks about it, it's so small. I indicate our efforts are yielding mixed results. We're getting very good results or kill on most of our areas, but poor results on others. We're happy if we can get an 85% kill. We're not sure why this is occurring. I admit that it is. It is not likely, question mark, that prairie dogs are developing any sort of immunity to the zinc phosphide. I don't think anything can tolerate phosphine gas. It's more likely some colonies are eating the ZP treated oats more than others. Ultimately, we've treated over 800 acres at the time, and warm weather persists, we're still in progress. Jerry, I don't know what's happening. We have talked about it. We have looked at areas, we've got a good kill. They're ghost towns, and they don't look any different than where you go to one and there's still prairie dogs running around. There's not a lot of green or vegetation. We can't say, well, that's the culprit, look how green it is, because they all look about the same. Is that a fair statement, Barry?
Yeah.
We've talked about this. Jerry, I don't know why some are not eating it.
Okay.
My hunch is if they eat it, it's lethal.
Have you noticed a different grain blend in your
No.
potatoes that you've purchased?
No, good point, because we got it all at the same time.
Well, sometimes I've killed a lot of gophers and a few prairie dogs over the years, and sometimes what they use for the available grain to treat,
Yeah.
sometimes it'll be a barley blend, Milo,
Right.
and whether they crimp the oats or whether they don't. I think those things may have an impact on consumption, but if everything's coming from the same
They're
batch.
all the same, South Dakota purchased at the same time. In fact, they got a unit number 2402. I don't know why I got it memorized.
But as you
It's
both
stamped on
know-
every bag, it's all the
As you
same.
both know, the people that sell that sometimes make whatever commodity is available, that's what they use
Yeah.
for their grain. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get the same blend of Milo and barley and oats each
Yeah.
time as you
That's a
as you
good
buy
point.
the product.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
did notice one thing, when we were pre-baiting, we were buying the oats down at the club, we had a couple bags that had a lot of corn. Looked like they cleaned the bottom of the bin out when they had the oats in there. And, when I used that stuff, them things went to that cracked corn 10 times, and we got a really good kill.
Yeah,
Everyone did.
that goes directly to my point. I
Yeah.
think that's probably part of
So,
the challenge. But it's
the
pretty hard.
pre-bait was probably the key right there, you know, so.
So we've learned a fair bit in our short existence of this department then? Would that be a first statement?
I think that's a fair statement, Jerry. Our coyote and beaver people are happy. Well, most of the prairie dog stuff is. We haven't had a lot, the coyotes, just 3, 2 beavers, and they're happy, they're content, no issues, no problems.
That's
So
what
you
I,
talked, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
okay.
You mentioned the amount of participation. Compare this to the old days of USDA for how much our outreach has impacted. Are we growing? In other words, the biggest complaint most of us had here for USDA was for the money. We weren't really impacting a lot of taxpayers in a positive fashion and helping them keep their land viable and generate revenue for their operations. So at this early stage, Jerry, do you think we're seeing an exponential growth in who we're assisting, number-wise,
In Lincoln County.
in Lincoln County?
I don't think I think we're seeing growth on the prairie dogs, yes, but on the others, no.
Yeah.
And I think the problem there is they used to get it for nothing, and a lot of people would call just because it wouldn't cost them anything to do it. Well, why not?
Prairie dogs,
But now,
to me, is the number one
yeah, yep.
negative impact on why I want to pay taxes on this pasture.
Yes.
doesn't produce grass, why do I want to pay taxes? So that's, to
Can-
me, that's why the emphasis is.
That's right, and I appreciate that. And when it comes time to sell or purchase, if you're looking at hundreds of prairie dogs running around, that's gonna have a dramatic impact.
Yeah.
You know, not only what you would pay for it as a purchaser, but what you expect to get
Not to
for it.
diminish the problem for cow-calf people with coyotes,
Yeah.
but in the big picture, prairie dogs have a huge impact on productivity.
Yeah.
One thing I have noticed is we're not really getting a lot of cooperation from the state of Nebraska on the state lands.
We'll just have to continue to work on that.
I guess, I'm
Is
fighting
that-
a battle with them now. I've got 5 places there and they're not even in there.
Are you talking about school land leases, what you're talking about?
We've
So we
had,
can't touch them.
we've had a conversation with those people, Chairman and I have, and we'll just have to do some more follow-up.
Tyler, did we have a determination whether we could send them a notice about problems on their property and go through the channels that we do with private landowners? And then request or tell them that we are coming in at your expense?
No, we've not made a determination on that, but it would not be my recommendation that we try.
Okay. Well, we've tried to approach that from a conversation, as Kent has mentioned. We've had that conversation with them, and we're trying to work with them because it is in their best interest as well. But if we control prairie dogs on one side of the fence and not on the other side, we're treading water.
Yeah, and I've got some issues with the ones I'm working because of that, because I can't cross the fence.
Yeah.
Could you put a lower strand on that fence, would that help?
I don't know. I don't know whether we can go low enough or not.
A little low hot wire.
Yeah, electrified, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, as we do that with raccoons, about 4 inches, and it works pretty good.
Well, thank you for the report. I'm anxious to read through that.
Yeah, read the
I've got a
narrative.
feeling I pretty much know what's gonna be in there since we've been in pretty constant contact. I appreciate the effort that you gentlemen have done with this department. I really appreciate the time and the effort that's been put in, because I think we can see some success here, and I really appreciate that work. Yes, sir.
Just had a couple quick questions. So I understand that when this program got going, I mean, we just put it in this fiscal year. Took some time to get the equipment that we needed. We had some expenditures up front to get
Correct.
that done. You guys didn't really get started until October. I also understand that this is kind of an anecdotal year as far as the temperate weather that we've had, the nice weather that we've had, going late into the season, including this month. Historically, from your experience with USDA, what is the season that we can expect for executing and
Mid to late November is, yeah, and in fact, that's in the narrative.
Okay.
It is at historically mid to late November. We either it gets so cold, the prairie dogs, a lot of them don't come out, or there's snow on the ground, and then that wet condition, that zinc phosphide becomes inert
and
when it gets wet.
Start time for that season is,
July 1 is, on the label is the start time, is July 1.
okay.
But,
I'm looking at these numbers and I don't want to try to extrapolate
Yeah.
revenues that we could.
oh, you don't, no, you'll get in
It's
trouble.
so
with that.
anecdotal
Yeah, yes,
this
yeah,
year.
you'll get in
So-
trouble. For the most part, there's gonna be some more, like my numbers here indicate, 12,706, we're at 15,349. Barry has turned in some more invoices. For the most part, what you see is what we're gonna get on the prairie dogs. We're gonna get a little bit more as long as this nice weather holds, but there's not gonna be a lot. It's not gonna be significant.
You say July 1, but in all reality, it probably, and mostly would be after July 1.
Right.
like-
Oh, yes, yeah, that's right, because of being green, yeah. The only time I've ever seen us get started with USDA, before, the end of August is those northern counties, Sioux, the stuff up north there. Banner County, the stuff way west where you got them grasses that go decadent really quick anyway. Yeah. And it gets real brown, yeah.
Are there any opportunity, follow up on these other two questions, is there any possibility of any work in the spring?
We gotta quit by March 1.
You have to be done by March 1.
According to the label, we gotta be done by March 1. We can use rolls all up to the 15th of March, and after that, we cannot do anything.
Okay.
Chairman, I believe that's because of the cranes, picking the grain. I believe that's why we don't want any toxic grains on the ground from the Department of Ag, because of the cranes.
Okay.
Specifically the whooping crane, in case we'd hate to be responsible for doing that.
Take that into account, okay.
Yeah, gentlemen, do you have any concerns? Are there concerns, gripes? Are we failing somewhere? Or anybody, is there something where you need to do this better or that better?
I have several neighbors that have used your service, and I've had nothing but positive feedback.
Okay, good, good.
As soon as we run out of the product that we've already purchased, we'll probably be using you too.
Okay. I want to acknowledge Barry, this little dog here with the prairie dogs. Man, he's gung-ho. I mean, he's like, he's just go, and I'm impressed, Barry, I am. I try not to fail you, but God, you're out there when the chickens wake up and you work till dark, and weekends mean nothing. I'm not sure I would quite get away with that in my household, but I want to publicly acknowledge Barry. The guy is awesome. He's been really good for this program, and thank you, Barry.
I want to apologize to you guys for having the overtime I've got. I know you weren't expecting this, but this is the only thing I can see that's gonna get us to the point we don't have to do this.
I'm interested in results.
Yeah, and I gotta apologize for it, but, without time, I can't do it. These days are limited, so.
It looks like you guys are operating well within the budget that was laid out for you. Is that a fair statement?
I think so, Michaela, I do.
Well, the whole thing.
We're trying, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We're trying to do well. Barry had a deer that tried to jump over his vehicle here back in November. Did a considerable amount of damage to the front end, and I think to repair it would have been about $7,000. Well, we're gonna do it ourselves. We got from a wrecking yard, $250?
$279.
$279 versus $7,000, and we'll sit out at the county shop and we'll piece it together. Now, it's probably not gonna win a prize at the car show, but by God, it's gonna work. It's an old truck, they're beat up, it's gonna work, the headlights are gonna work, it's gonna be safe.
Previous owners in the room here.
Yeah, no, but we're rather than pay $7,000, we'll pay less than $300, and we'll patch it together ourselves.
Prairie dogs don't care what you roll in.
No, that's
I
right.
had to put a new set of tires in that truck I got. I'm just doing that here just the other day, and I had to fix the strut bumpers up on the front end because they were basically gone. And I had to get them in. They are pretty expensive little dudes for what they are. But I put the last one in this morning, so.
Okay, sounds good.
I appreciate the frugalness with the budget.
Yeah.
The whole program is predicated on landowner involvement as contributors, so
Yeah, that's right.
hopefully we can see that sustained moving forward
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
program to be viable.
Okay.
We're giving it a good effort.
We just try to explain to these people when we do this stuff that the towns that are out of control, you've got to do this. Now we can get them down to the point that control is not going to be an expensive tool anymore, once you get that population knocked off. But right now, everybody complains about it, but, you let it get that way, so, this is the results of it.
I would welcome your thoughts in this regard, but I was surprised at the level of infestation of these prairie rodents that were in Lincoln County.
Me too.
Me too. I've had friends before I started here with y'all. Hey, Jerry, we want to shoot some prairie dogs. Where can we go? And I don't know. Now, let them call. you know, we've got a waiting list of people. I mean, there's a lot of prairie dogs, man. You get off the beaten path. And I talk to so many people, friends, that will say, Lincoln County, prairie dogs? They don't see them from the road. Now, you see a few going down 83, you'll see a little bit on Maddox here and there, but other than that, you don't, people don't get off onto the gravel roads. And there's a lot of stuff out there, man.
Well, and I think that is a tribute to the work that you guys have done, Barry, especially scouting out some of these places and making those contacts. Again, I appreciate what you gentlemen have done. And another thank you needs to go to the roads department. You alluded to.
Yeah, they're there. Yeah, thanks.
Jason was out of the room when we first mentioned that, but.
Yeah.
Part of the frugalness and the success has been accomplished through the efforts that the folks at the road department have helped us with, and
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
And also Weeds has taken active role.
Yeah, and I indicate in here, Michaela, that I did acknowledge Weeds, but at this point, we hadn't really used any of their facilities. We hadn't needed to. Jason and Brian have taken care of us, so.
Very nice.
And I was blessed with a vehicle with new tires. And I got some Firestone Transforce ATs. Nobody cares. I use them on my personal vehicles. And they were new when I got mine, so I expect.
Jason slipped up on that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I expect, I'm never gonna need tires, because that will last for several years, because we don't use that, I don't put that many miles on.
No, that was nice of them, and
Yeah.
they've helped you guys a bunch, and Noxious Weed is right there, they're ready to help you. too,
Yeah, if we
whenever.
I
need be.
want to thank Michaela, with your boss out there at the weed department, called and volunteered one of his work guys if we needed help.
Absolutely.
We just didn't have four-wheelers to provide it, but he did step up and
They have equipment that will also be offered to assist in your mission. So Todd's a great partner to the county and willing to help in any way. So
Yeah.
you have their number, just reach out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they just don't have the baiting equipment to take,
Right.
you know.
Yep.
so-
Absolutely.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep, one last statement, gentlemen, Thursday, the 21st, the wife and I are heading to North Dakota for about 10 days for Christmas. So if there's any issues, I won't be available till about the first of the year, but Barry here, he'll be around, and he's very, very capable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, next item on our agenda is to discuss and consider authorizing the chairman to sign a quitclaim deed for property located within the village of Sutherland pursuant to resolution 2023-32.
And the sun sets on the long saga of trying to sell this land, Sutherland.
Okay.
The Sutherland Village had passed their own resolution approving the sale. They sent a check for $1, funds have been verified.
Did it clear at the bank?
Yes, so
Okay.
now both political subdivisions have cleared the hurdles that they need to clear, and it's time to sign a quitclaim deed, simply giving them whatever interest we own in that property, whatever it may be.
Okay, so that is in front of us now, right?
Yes, sir, for the board to authorize your signature.
Okay, colleagues.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize your signature to sign a quitclaim deed for property located within the village of Sutherland. Actually, it's not all in the village of Sutherland, correct, Tyler?
Part of it extends out, it's still in their ETJ though.
Okay. Within the village of Sutherland's ETJ pursuant to resolution 2023-32.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Woodruff.
All right. Finished. Okay, is there need for a closed session?
Not one I can justify, no.
Okay, good. Next is hear concerns from elected officials, department heads, or their representatives. Sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Going to give you an update on prisoner at this point.
Gotta get my,
That's in
That one. That's the second
the
one.
hospital in Lincoln.
which one?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
One's in Uller.
Understand this maybe in regards to something that's been in the press lately?
Yes.
Kate and.
A warrant was issued, a warrant was signed, and it was served, so he became our prisoner last week, which means we get all the cost. I have hired a security company out of Lincoln. They typically have 2 people on their team all the time guarding a prisoner. The owner of the company happens to be a good friend of mine, so they're doing it with 1. The hospital requires 2 during walks. They have the prisoner up walking twice a day. So during those 2 hours, we were paying for 2 guards. They've also, with the help of Lieutenant Ball, they're doing one of the walks at shift change, so we only get half the cost of the 2. So we're doing our best to keep those costs down. He'll be removed from ICU probably today. They do have surgery planned, but not for the removal of the bullets. It's for the lung that had collapsed. I don't know why a lung collapsed. It had nothing to do with a bullet, but anyway, that's going to be somewhat a minor surgery from what I understand. And hopefully he'll get out of there mid to late this week.
And then would he be transported here to Lincoln County?
He'll be in our jail, unless he has to go to the hospital, but I think we can care for him with the medical staff that I have. Because the tubes will be removed, so he's not hooked down at all, other than handcuffs at this point, so.
Okay. Another expense we weren't planning on.
No, but I guess surprises happen in life.
Yep. Okay, well, thanks. Keep us.
Sometimes they're out of my control.
Yeah. Well, keep us posted and we'll hope the expenses don't get too far out of hand.
They will deal with it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Becky?
Hopefully he ends up with the pen sooner rather than later.
Okay, the first thing I had talked to you guys about the Nebraska Department of Transportation. They had they wanted us to do a addendum basically saying there was something wrong with the audit. After going back and forth with them, and Rachel from the auditor's office, we have nothing to do because it was all correct. So that worked itself out, so that was good. The next thing I want to talk to you about is date was on the 11th, I got an email from, which I really wouldn't have even thought this was probably a bogus email, but I got an email which ended up being from the Telegraph. I ended up sending that on to you guys. I think I sent it to all the department heads. There is a new process for inputting the legals. Several other officials have reached out to me. We are concerned about this process. Last week, or actually for the minutes for this week from last week's meeting, Melissa did submit them. The person at the Telegraph did not put them in. Melissa took the training at noon on that day. Actually, you were supposed to start submitting your things that day. So, she ended up having to put the minutes for this week in on her own, which now they will not be published till Tuesday because the Telegraph actually missed the deadline. But anyway, this process is very different. I'm concerned about the length of time. Now we would probably get faster. When Melissa put the minutes in, it was $800 to begin with for the minutes. Because it actually shows you invoices as you go. After about 45 minutes of taking out spaces and different things like that, she got it down to about $200. But it took her 45 minutes or so to figure out this process. I'm concerned about my legals. Julie and I visited a little bit. There was no cost savings to the county by any means. We're just doing
There
their work.
Their work.
I'm concerned about my election stuff. I mean, there's a lot to some of those election publications. I do not know how those are gonna, and I can get around on the computer enough, but to do some of that stuff, like, making it look nice in the fancy columns and that, I do not know how to do that.
Well, so in essence, our legal notices just got a lot more expensive because now we have the time of our employees that have to do this.
Yes, now, like I said, how hard or easy it is, I don't know. The training was that Wednesday at noon. We were all gone. Several people approached me about maybe having a different legal newspaper. Like I said, my concern still is for my election stuff. Sometimes there's not a lot of deadline, a lot of wiggle room for those weekly papers. But, I mean, I don't know about getting all that inserted either, so I think Julie was one that expressed concern too last week.
Well, I sure hope that I know that there's gonna be some legislation that gets introduced in January that looks to, it's gonna take a look at the requirements for publishing legal notices and probably give municipalities and counties and other political subdivisions a little bit more latitude in the venues that they can use to do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that legislation because I don't like this in particular.
Like I said, it was kind of, I mean, there was the training and then you had to insert it. I mean, there was no leeway, there was no nothing. And honestly, it didn't come from the Telegraph. I mean, I'm surprised I even really noticed who the email came from. It was a weird email address.
Did it come from Telegraph or did it come from their corporate
No, it came
office?
from
Did not come through the Telegraph.
Column US. I mean, I don't even know what
I'm
maybe,
surprised it wasn't blocked, honestly.
yeah, I don't even know what maybe to look at it, honestly.
I sat in on that meeting at NACO also, Becky, and the concerns that Becky is having were
it's
widely
widespread. It's
expressed.
widespread.
And Chris is exactly right. We need to get our senators involved and something changed, because this is just a burden on the taxpayer.
Joe?
Is there a way that we can request another training since we were not, many of our people weren't there? I think that would certainly be
Good question.
a necessity, not a request.
Well, they recorded it, so I think you can go on and look at it later.
Okay.
It says this webinar will be recorded. You cannot attend live, but you still had to register for it, which I did, so I'll have to see if I have any email
So maybe
in there
you
now.
and the other people
But-
that have to do with legals can sit down and review it 2 or 3 times if you need to.
Like I said, no, simple legals, but then we're doing 3 sets of minutes now, because we're doing the ones for the book, so they look nice, and they're decent. We're doing one for the paper, we're doing one to take out all the spacing. I don't know, it's just,
All right, Tammy, you're doing some of these legals as well, correct?
Yes, I did register for it, I was unable to watch it at noon as well, but I will get it watched this week.
Jason, you are doing some of these legals as well?
Yeah, Deanna's actually handling our legals, so I know she had mentioned this to me, but I have not had a chance to catch her up, or see if she did the training or not, so I'd have to check with her and see what her thoughts are on it.
Julie, you are involved in this as well, I suspect?
We have certain things we have to run throughout the year.
I mean, every department pretty much has certain legal notices they gotta do every year. So-
Alex, she has to do her, well, you had mentioned that maybe we can import it and stuff too, but I don't know if it adjusted to the columns, but her tax list or delinquent tax list, that's sometimes twofold. We do, so somebody has to, I don't know how they would do all that.
Yeah, like some of my printed publications are 2 or 3 pages long for the election, so.
We can't
There's
get
no-
any credits for
No discount.
doing an electronic distribution of a notice. Legal weight at all, gotta be in print.
It has to be in
It's-
print
it's-
per state
Election
statute.
laws are very specific. yes.
Currently.
Currently, yes.
Well, that will likely
Hopefully
But even if the
legislature will-
publication thing changed, I don't know, you'd have to codify all those election laws and all that too, probably. I mean, I don't know how that
They're,
would
they're
work.
looking at that, to my understanding, because I've had some conversations on this, and, I mean, they're exploring ideas of allowing on official websites, web pages, so like,
we could post on the county webpage.
Which, I mean, I
social
do
media.
most of those anyway, but it's just, those legal requirements right now say, you know, they have to be published.
So,
And they're
we'll-
very
And
specific.
if we need to, we could, that's an idea to put on the website, as do its own tab.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to wait to see what that legislation looks like.
But we could add that tab in the meantime.
Yeah, as I'm working through some of the stuff with Text My Gov, I'll be honest, I think I need to, after looking at a lot of other counties' election websites, I think we can do some rearranging and different things for my election stuff anyway. I mean, I'm working with it, doing it right now.
Is there anything specific that the board can help with this?
I don't know, I guess it might just be what we do for the legal newspaper.
Who, do you know?
Are we gonna run into trouble if you would switch those, if it was just the once a week? Is that gonna mess you up?
It's gonna be tough because normally the minutes are published before the next meeting.
It used to be, remember it said newspaper of daily publication, that was the official newspaper.
And we
I don't
don't have
know if
that.
that language is in there anymore because obviously they're not a daily publication. They'll say, well, we're published online or something, I don't know, but. So I don't know, maybe that language has changed for the official newspaper.
And this no way reflects the people in the Telegraph that have worked here with this. They don't even do our legals here anymore. I think ours are coming out of Omaha, correct? You took it about 45 minutes to an hour, you said, to get this all adjusted.
It was super simple, it's just tedious. Making sure that the spaces go back where they belong, commas go back where they belong. So, I mean, everything transferred over, simple, it was just all the spaces, then you had to delete the spaces and put the commas in, the spaces back in where they needed to go, but if I wouldn't have adjusted it, it would have cost $711
Wow.
just to post that legal from last week.
Melissa, that was the first time you've done that, right? Second time, half the amount of time, you think?
Possibly.
Third time, some more cut down?
But it depends
Knowing how to
on,
do it?
Claims
it's the
that-
claims.
Yeah, it's just making sure that all those spaces are in there and trying to make sure that you can cut some words if you can, or not cut words, things like that. But no, it's a very simple process, it's just very tedious.
Right, and the other thing is, you know, the way we do our minutes, I don't know, maybe we need to stop doing them that way. Because we put
lot
minutes
of
like
people.
nobody else does.
But I do a separate set for the paper, Joe. You're not seeing those. You're seeing the
Of
book
course I
minutes.
am, I read the paper. But our minutes are really long in the paper. The other person goes, motion this, second that, done. They don't even say the discussion or anything, so it's real short and real simple. That's another thought, you know, maybe we do that.
I normally do that unless it's something I think it's controversial.
Gotcha.
So if there's something controversial, I do put more in even the paper minutes. But you gotta realize, last week, we had very few claims. We really didn't have that many claims last week, so that's what, if you have, you know, that's where it's
Would we,
gonna
and
be time.
I don't know it off the top of my head, obviously, I'm sure I have it in my budget paperwork, but I'd like to see a summary of what we budget and what our actual expenses are countywide for legal notices, if it's not too much trouble.
There's a separate line item in the advertising insurance, but I don't know. I mean, every claim comes in separate because they bill Julie, they bill me. Some of it's paid together,
Is it
but
gonna be cheaper since we have to do it ourselves? Did you ask them that? Like the.
it didn't appear that way.
Because last week it was $180, and this week when I did it was at $200.
Yeah, 179 or something like that.
So not
Again,
any
it's
cheaper
not-
and we're doing labor.
199, it was more.
And again, it's not accounting for
The time.
Yeah.
wages of our employees
The
that are going into
investment.
it, so.
That was we had a ton of claims last week.
There wasn't that many claims last week.
It was shorter on the claims.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's claims that go on sometimes, no offense,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, tell us about it.
No, last week, I don't know. I mean, you guys don't even have this many this week, so.
Let's just put a finite number on the claims.
Well, there you
I was gonna
go.
say, maybe we should consolidate some of the claims.
Anyway, just food for thought, I guess,
When
to.
we're out of room, we're done, and the road department comes last.
I think they ought to be first.
He's still giggling.
Okay, Melissa came back down to tell you what she found out about the liquor license stuff.
Okay, tell us.
So I called Corinne at Liquor Commission in Lincoln, and she said we have until December 12th to.
January 12th.
Or January 12th, sorry, to finish this up for Fast Stop, because I'll have another one next week also. It's gonna be coming on for CNC Catering. But then I reached out to the gentleman again that's on that, and he gave me the information to Bob, who I've actually personally spoke with Bob when he came to get the tobacco license. He's a super nice guy. But he's out in Utah, and he was unaware, the information wasn't given to him. And he's the VP of Fast Stop. So he said he said he'd make a plane trip out here or make a phone call, whatever he had to do to push this through, but I don't know what else you want. It's miscommunication on,
But
The Form 125 was included, the Liquor Control Commission did not email that out. It was in there, they had it, they had received it, they have it, they normally just do not email it
said that we
out.
don't normally get those, so it's just something that they keep on their end.
So here is the actual.
When you say they, you mean the Liquor Commission in Lincoln?
Yes,
The Liquor
the state
Commission
Liquor
normally keeps
Commission.
those from what Corinne said, yes.
Okay.
They normally keep those? We don't see them? We don't see a copy of them?
I guess I don't ever look through all that stuff, I just make sure the stuff that we have to sign is in there and whatever else they have, they print out, because I don't.
Yeah, they just send the whole packet. I mean, they don't send it till, like I said, they have everything they have to move it on.
Well, it'll be easy for next time because it's here and it's signed, it's approved.
But Bob did apologize for the miscommunication and stuff like that, and he was, whatever. He's very nice man.
Okay, so we will have that information next week along with, you said there was gonna be another public hearing?
Yes,
For another entity? Okay.
But it's a separate. It will
Separate
be-
one,
Yeah,
separate
so
one,
we're-
understand.
from what Tyler said, we're not gonna redo this public hearing, so
No.
you're just gonna take action next week?
Yeah.
Do you want Bob to call in, like before you take action?
You can look at it. From what I see, everything's in order, but please let somebody else look at it other than myself.
Tyler, your recommendation?
The public hearing's closed, so you don't have to take his commentary. However, if the information from the applicant would be helpful in the board making a determination, it's probably not a bad idea. Again, it just depends whether or not you need more information to decide what was in the packet.
Colleagues?
Maybe relay to him to just be on standby in case we have a question and decide to call.
Well, if all the appropriate paperwork is before us next Tuesday, I guess I don't know that I have an issue with talking to the guy either.
Well, extra paperwork.
And the two things that
Well,
we
we didn't,
required
we didn't
are,
see, we had no knowledge that form was done.
Joe asked about the Form 125, where they didn't
and
include
it
the
is
packet.
signed by both of them, so that's the thing we needed.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Corinne emailed that right over to me this morning.
Okay.
And she said that normally they don't send that with the packet, that it normally stays in Lincoln.
Yes. But if that's something that we need, I need to get that with the next catering, the licenses also next week.
Colleagues, do you think we need to have that?
Well, I think it's important that we know that it's been filed at the very least.
Well, and if it says that it's part of the public hearing and we have it, just have it, it's not a big deal, and then there's no question.
Well, yeah,
I
if
agree.
it wasn't part of the deal, why is it on that paper?
I agree.
So I just need to be on the same page so that I can make sure I have all the paperwork.
And just have a copy of that,
Okay.
please.
Yep.
Okay, super.
That's only if they're purchasing another business. Like if they're opening a new one, they won't have that.
That's correct. This is if
So
it's a
that's-
temporary and you're purchasing from an existing owner on their license.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise
Which
they
will
can, one next
happen
week
once in a
probably
blue
won't
moon.
have it. Yes, that's,
Probably why we've never encountered it.
Okay, thank you for looking into that.
okay. Thank you. That's all I got.
Jason?
Yes. I guess I would like to address a couple of the comments that were made previously. So I guess to start
Is this on North or South Eugene? Oh, it's on West Eugene.
East and west.
So as far as the comments made about this not being on our plan previously, that's inaccurate. It's been on our 6-year plan, and last year when we did our
For
hearing.
about 10 years.
Yeah.
We talked about this being our highest priority for our asphalt overlay program going forward, so.
But his statement was true, he said it didn't appear on the one-year plan. That was his specific statement.
No, it was on the 1-year
It
plan
was
last
on the
year.
one.
Yes.
Okay, then, good, I thought it
Yes.
was 6, so.
Nope, it
Not
was,
the
it was on the
1.6,
6-year
on the
plan
one.
previous to last year, but last year,
Moved up to
We
the
moved
one-year
it
plan.
up.
yes, this
Thank
was.
you.
And I do have the 1 and 6 in my file right behind me, but I
Okay.
didn't feel like I needed to
Good,
get
thank-
it out.
And then also the comment where he stated about not having a estimate, the media did ask me about having an estimate for this project. And I said there is no engineer's estimate for this project, which there's not. We have an asphalt overlay budget, but that is not all encompassing of just this project. So just wanted to clarify that for everybody.
But I think that's a good question, because on most projects, we do have an engineer's estimate, and we should have an engineer's estimate just for the project. So in the future, we should have that, and we typically would have that, so.
Good conversation.
Yep, so that's all I had.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Safe Streets for All may come back and say that needs to be a 4-lane road.
Could be.
One more claim.
Then you're gonna be going through condemnation.
Okay, we'll leave that section open if we have more department heads or elected officials. Next up, Lincoln County Commissioners Committee reports. Thank you, gentlemen. Do we have any committee reports from the commissioners?
Oh, he must have.
Kayla, are you going to be discussing anything on the community action plan or anything?
I can give them a quick feedback on that. No, I think I can communicate your stance on it well for you. Okay? All right, thanks.
Joe? Anything?
No, sir.
Michaela?
I have a couple of things. Jason referenced the Community Safety Action Plan. I was contacted prior to last week by the NACO Transportation Working Group inviting me and Jason to a roundtable that they had that was not, it was not on the NACO agenda, it was a separate meeting. It has been discovered that in order to qualify for the really big grants that we've all been talking about, that we have to have a Community Safety Action Plan. Lincoln County is of a size that the people inviting us to this meeting thought we would have one. I contacted absolutely every entity in Lincoln County that I thought may have this on file. Everybody except the Girl Scouts, I think I reached out to. We have a lot of plans that are similar to it, but nothing specific to this. And so through the conversation, what Jason and I came away with is Lincoln County is unique in size and population compared to most of the counties that were invited to the conversation. We felt like, and they did a great job, they had a presentation put together. There were a lot of different entities there that support grant writing and transportation. And it wasn't just about roads, it was about infrastructure. So we need this if we're gonna do water, sewer, electrical. Jason and I decided that they did a great job of putting together a little map of the steps that are vital to getting this CSAP in place. And so we feel like Jason and I and you as our other committee member, with the help of Deanna and Brian, can start working on Lincoln counties. We will still continue to be part of the collaborative with the Transportation Working Group. And once we get our plan in place, we will be happy to share it as a template to the other smaller counties. And so that's kind of our takeaway from that. And it'll help no matter if we're just applying for smaller grants that will assist our 1 and 6 year road plan, or a bigger transportation for the entire county, this document is going to be vital to not being rejected. Some of the frustration in the room was, this is not a new conversation, but I don't know that this particular document, the importance of it was recognized until several communities had been rejected for large grants. And as we all know, there's a big investment in putting together all of the work that it goes into applying. So Jason and I are gonna work on getting going on this. We'll keep everybody apprised. We'll still participate in the roundtable meetings with the other counties. But I think it was great that it was brought to our attention. I think it'll be a good tool to have in our toolbox moving forward. And it'll be a fluid document, something that changes as your community changes. I had asked to invite our comprehensive plan planners into the conversation, and I think we'll have a sit-down meeting with them while they're out here in January. The other thing, courthouse generator project, the December deadline has come and gone, and we still have not received the switch. I think at this time, if Commissioner Weems, who's also on that committee, is in agreement, we quit setting dates and deadlines. Let's wait till we see the whites of its eyes. I mean, we've made it this long this winter. I don't know that I'm even on board with us starting the trenching, because who knows how long that would have to be open. So I think we just wait and see when the switch is gonna arrive. So they've put that.
Technical term for that is hide and watch.
Hide and watch, yeah. I think that's what we should do at this point.
Where's that switch coming in from again?
I don't even remember.
I
Timbuktu.
don't
Timbuktu, yeah.
remember, yeah. We've had promises of it being in production a couple of times, and I don't know, I'm sure they have priority lists, and maybe we're not at the top of the list and it gets reassigned, but we'll keep communicating with NMC. Booker's done a good job of keeping us in the loop on this.
Joe, you had a comment?
Question. I thought that we had asked them to go ahead and get our underground in, get it ready, and be done. And I'm wondering why that hasn't been done 2 or 3 months ago and just sitting there looped up, ready to go. I mean, that's my question.
That's an appropriate question.
Yep.
So honestly, just stubbing in the conduit, as long as we know it's large enough to accommodate everything, and be more than one, for interference reasons, for voltage and things of that nature. That's a great point that, the electrician should know. They should be able to anticipate what they need for conduit and vary it.
Without putting words in anybody's mouth, I think the answer to that was our building and ground department is going to be doing a lot of the work, and also wanted to pour the slab for the pad for the unit at the same time. And so that was gonna require a little more disturbance of the lawn and the property on that side of the courthouse. But I will get with Booker, Joe, and I can give you some feedback on where we're at with that.
Yeah, it's a very key point. I have to agree.
Okay, I'll have some feedback at our next meeting for
Does
you.
that switch go out there on that pad as well?
Well, it should just, I don't know if it's gonna be a freestanding apparatus or how big it is, but
I can't remember the conversation. It's been so long ago that
Yeah.
we walked around out there and had all parties on site. I can't remember.
yeah.
But Booker can come in and give us some feedback next
Sometimes
Monday.
they put a pedestal in place for those. Some down to the pad, but I don't know what it looks like.
Okay.
Also, we've had 2 meetings about the courthouse HVAC. we're moving in a good direction there. Booker met with Brett Berglund from the city engineering department, and they have a plan in place. So we'll continue.
That will come to us, how soon do you think?
I don't know
I think you're just gonna.
if it needs
the
to
city
come
sign
to
off.
us, yeah, as long,
Your backstop.
yeah, it'll be very minimal as far as cost and involvement. There will be some boring that needs to happen. If they reach the decision that they can even do that under the sidewalks and then into the building where the pipe will be placed.
Okay.
And this is not a committee feedback, but I thought it was worth noting. The communities of Hershey and Sutherland not this Sunday, but the Sunday before, had a cookie auction to raise funds for the Sutherland Hershey Community Food Pantry. They raised $25,000 in a couple hours on a Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
And I felt like that really spoke to the power of a community getting involved, not waiting for somebody else to show up and rescue them. $25,000 for that food pantry will go a long way. So
great.
that was awesome.
Kudos to
Absolutely. They show up every single time.
Which is a reminder, Salvation Army needs all the money we can all afford to donate to those folks too, individually. Which our family always donates a nice check. They do a lot of work.
Kent, any,
I don't have anything specifically, Chairman.
no other committee reports, no other elected officials, department heads? Tammy, do you have anything for us?
I do not.
Continue keeping Jerry and Barry in line. Appreciate all your work.
She wants a hot shot for Christmas, by the way.
That would be appreciated.
Okay, we have quarterly Lincoln County Detention Center inspection.
Can you leave that for me? I need to be absent this time.
Yes, sir.
And you would get a hold of.
I will get a hold of Becky and we'll adjourn the meeting when we're done.
Okay,
Tell somebody in my office if you would.
okay.
I will let you know.
Anything else to come before the group before we depart for the detention center?